temporary pain. You ever notice how you're always looking for someone else to solve your problems? Your boss to give you the promotion, your partner to make you happy, your parents to approve your choices, some mentor to discover you, some opportunity to find you. You've been trained to believe that salvation comes from outside, that if you just wait long enough, work hard enough, be good enough, someone will swoop in and make it all okay. But here's what they don't tell you. That's how they keep you powerless. That's how they keep you obedient. That's how they keep you waiting in line while they cut to the front. And while you're waiting, while you're being patient, being loyal, being good, nobody is thinking about you. Your boss isn't losing sleep over your career. Your friends aren't strategizing your success. That mentor who's supposed to discover you doesn't exist. That big break that's going to change everything, it's not coming. That person who's going to save you from yourself, from your circumstances, from your mediocrity, they're not real. You're living in a rescue fantasy and it's destroying you. Because the longer you wait for external salvation, the longer you stay stuck, broke, frustrated, watching everyone else move forward while you're standing still, wondering what you did wrong. Here's what you did wrong. You waited. You believed the lie. You thought someone cared about your potential as much as you do. Machiavelli understood something that terrifies most people. You are alone in this world. Brutally, completely alone. And the moment you accept that, really accept it, you become free. Because once you stop waiting for rescue, you become the rescuer. Once you stop looking for permission, you start taking territory. Once you kill that fantasy, you birth something dangerous, someone who needs nothing from anyone. Stay till the end, because I'm about to show you why your dependency is the cage they built for you, and why self-reliance is the only weapon they can't take away. If you're ready to stop waiting and start becoming, subscribe now, because what I'm about to show you next is the framework for self-rescue. Let me show you exactly how this plays out. You're at your job. You've been there 3 years. You work hard, you stay late, you take on extra projects, you do everything they ask and more, and you're waiting for them to notice, waiting for the promotion you deserve, waiting for recognition, waiting for your loyalty to pay off. And what happens? They promote someone else, someone who's been there half as long, someone who networked instead of working, someone who asked instead of waited. And you're sitting there devastated, confused, angry. I did everything right, you tell yourself. I earned it. But here's what you missed. Nobody owes you anything. Not your boss, not your company, not the universe. You thought the rules were work hard, get rewarded, but that's not how it works. That's what they tell you, so you'll keep working hard while they decide who gets rewarded. And they don't decide based on who deserves it. They decide based on who demands it, who takes it, who makes it impossible to ignore them. You were waiting for them to save you from mediocrity. They were never going to do that, because your mediocrity serves them, your patience serves them, your loyalty serves them. As long as you're waiting, you're manageable. As long as you're hoping they'll notice, you're controllable. As long as you believe rescue is coming, you'll never rescue yourself. And this pattern, it's everywhere. You're in a relationship that's draining you, but you stay because you're waiting for them to change, waiting for them to see your value, waiting for them to become the person you need them to be. And they don't. They won't, because they don't have to. You're already there. You're already giving them everything. You're already tolerating disrespect, settling for breadcrumbs, convincing yourself that if you just wait a little longer, love a little harder, sacrifice a little more, they'll finally become who you need. They won't. People don't change because you wait for them to. People change when there are consequences for not changing. And as long as you're there, waiting, accepting, hoping, there are no consequences. You've made yourself the solution to their dysfunction. You've become the person who absorbs their chaos so they don't have to fix it. And you call this love. You call this loyalty. You call this being a good partner. But what it actually is It's you waiting to be saved from a situation you have the power to leave. Or maybe it's your health. You're out of shape, you're tired, you're uncomfortable in your own body, and you're waiting for motivation to strike, waiting for the perfect program, waiting for the right time, the right circumstances, the right feeling. When I'm less stressed, I'll start. When work calms down, I'll focus on it. When I feel more motivated, I'll commit. And the months pass, the years pass, and nothing changes. Because you're waiting for a future version of yourself to save the current version. But that future version never arrives. Because the only way to become that person is to stop waiting and start becoming. You see the pattern now? Every area of your life where you're stuck, where you're suffering, where you're stagnant, it's because you're waiting for external rescue, waiting for someone else to fix it, waiting for conditions to be perfect, waiting for permission, waiting for a sign. And while you wait, life is happening. Opportunities are passing, time is disappearing. Other people who stopped waiting, are building the life you're still planning. Machiavelli wrote, "The prince who relies entirely on fortune is lost when it changes." And fortune always changes. Luck runs out, timing shifts, people leave, companies fail, opportunities close. If you're building your life on the assumption that external forces will align to save you, you're building on sand. And when the tide comes in, and it always does, you'll be washed away, wondering why the universe betrayed you. The universe didn't betray you. You betrayed yourself by waiting, by hoping, by believing someone else cared enough to save you. Here's the truth: nobody cares. Not the way you think they do, not the way you need them to. Your parents care, but they have their own lives, their own problems, their own limitations. Your friends care, but they're fighting their own battles. Your partner cares, but they're dealing with their own demons. Your boss cares about results, not your potential. Your company cares about profit, at your loyalty. The system cares about keeping you productive and compliant, not about your fulfillment. This isn't pessimism, this is clarity. And clarity is the first step to power, because once you accept that no one is coming, you stop waiting. Once you accept that no one is thinking about your success as much as you are, you stop expecting them to. Once you accept that you are alone, truly alone, in the responsibility for your life, you become dangerous. Because now there's no one to blame, no one to wait for, no one to give you permission. There's just you. And the question becomes, what are you going to do about it? Most people never get here. Most people spend their entire lives in the waiting room. They die with potential intact, dreams deferred, goals unmet, because they were waiting for someone to discover them, waiting for luck to strike, waiting for conditions to be perfect, waiting for confidence they'll never feel, waiting for permission no one will give. And on their deathbed they'll wonder, what if I had just started? What if I had just taken the risk? What if I had just stopped waiting and become the person I was capable of being? Don't be them. Don't be the person who waits. Don't be the person who looks back and realizes they gave their power away to people who didn't deserve it, didn't want it, and didn't use it to help them. You're not here to be saved. You're here to save yourself. And the moment you internalize that, the moment you really feel it in your bones, everything changes. So let's talk about what self-reliance actually means. Because most people hear, no one's coming to save you, and they hear nihilism. They hear hopelessness. They hear, you're on your own, and that's terrifying. But that's not what this is. This is liberation. This is the death of victimhood. This is the birth of agency. Because as long as you're waiting for someone else, you're giving them your power. You're making your happiness, your success, your worth dependent on their actions. And that's not freedom. That's slavery with extra steps. Self-reliance means, I am the solution. Not because I'm superior, not because I don't need help, but because I don't wait for help to arrive before I start solving. Self-reliance means, I take responsibility for every outcome in my life, even the ones that weren't my fault. Because fault doesn't matter. Blame doesn't matter. What matters is, are you going to fix it, or are you going to wait for someone else to fix it while your life falls apart? Let me give you the framework. 3 principles, 3 shifts, 3 deaths that lead to 3 rebirths. First principle, kill the victim. That part of you that says, it's not fair, needs to die. That part that says, I shouldn't have to, needs to die. That part that says, someone should help me, needs to die. Because that part is keeping you powerless. As long as you're focused on fairness, on should, on what other people ought to do, you're not focused on what you can do. And what you can do is the only thing that matters. Yes, it's not fair that you had a harder start than others. Yes, it's not fair that the system is rigged. Yes, it's not fair that talent doesn't always get rewarded. But fair is a child's concept. Fair is what you demand when you don't have power. Powerful people don't worry about fair. They worry about effective. They worry about what works. And whining about fairness doesn't work. Taking action works. Adapting works. Outmaneuvering works. So you have a choice. You can spend your energy complaining about how the game is rigged, or you can spend your energy learning the actual rules and winning anyway. You can wait for the system to become fair, or you can become so undeniable that fairness becomes irrelevant. You can be the victim who demands justice, or you can be the force who creates outcomes. One keeps you powerless, one makes you dangerous. Picture this: 2 people, same circumstances, same disadvantages, same unfair starting point. One spends their time talking about how unfair it is, posting about it, complaining to friends, waiting for acknowledgement of their struggle. The other spends their time strategizing, learning, building, networking, executing. 5 years later, the first person is still talking about fairness. The second person has built something that makes fairness irrelevant. Which one are you? Second principle, kill the fantasy. The fantasy that someone is coming, the fantasy that there's a perfect moment, the fantasy that you'll feel ready, the fantasy that motivation will strike and carry you through. None of this is real. These are stories you tell yourself to justify waiting. But every day you spend in the fantasy is a day you're not spending in reality. And reality is where results happen. There is no perfect moment. There's only now, and now is never perfect. You'll never feel completely ready. You'll never have all the information. You'll never have zero risk. If you're waiting for these conditions, you're waiting forever. And while you wait, people who are less qualified, less talented, less deserving, but more willing to act despite uncertainty, are taking the opportunities you're planning for. Motivation is not the prerequisite for action. Action is the prerequisite for motivation. You don't wait to feel like doing something before you do it. You do it, and the feeling follows. This is backward from how you've been taught, but it's how reality works. Discipline creates momentum. Momentum creates results. Results create motivation. You've been trying to start with motivation, which is why you keep stalling out. Start with discipline instead. Do it when you don't feel like it. Do it when it's hard. Do it when you'd rather do anything else. And watch how the motivation shows up after you've already started winning. The fantasy keeps you safe. It keeps you comfortable. It protects you from the risk of trying and failing. But it also protects you from the possibility of trying and succeeding. And at some point you have to decide, do you want safety or do you want results? Because you can't have both. Every successful person you admire, they chose results over safety. They killed the fantasy and stepped into uncertainty. And that's where they found their power. Third principle, kill the dependency. This is the hardest one. Because dependency feels like connection. It feels like relationship. It feels like love. But what it actually is, it's weakness disguised as virtue. Every time you need someone's approval to move forward, you've given them control over your movement. Every time you need someone's validation to feel worthy, you've given them control over your worth. Every time you need someone's permission to act, you've given them control over your action. And here's the trap. They'll never give you enough. Approval is addictive. Validation is temporary. Permission is conditional. You'll keep going back, keep asking, keep needing, and they'll keep you in that cycle because it serves them. Your dependency makes them important. Your need makes them powerful. Your waiting makes them comfortable. Why would they free you from that? Self-reliance doesn't mean you don't have relationships. It means your relationships aren't based on need. It means you choose people because you want them, not because you need them. It means you're capable of standing alone, which makes your choice to stand with someone actually meaningful. Dependency creates resentment on both sides. The dependent person resents the one they need for not giving them enough. The needed person resents the dependent one for taking too much. It's a poison relationship model. Self-reliance is the antidote. So how do you kill dependency? You start doing things alone. You start making decisions without consensus. You start taking action without approval. You start building something that's yours, not something that requires constant validation from others to feel real. And yes, it's uncomfortable at first. Yes, you'll doubt yourself. Yes, you'll want to run back to the comfort of asking someone else what they think. Don't. Sit in the discomfort. Learn to trust your own judgment. Learn to validate your own choices. Learn to give yourself permission. And watch what happens. Watch how people start respecting you more. Watch how opportunities start appearing. Watch how your confidence grows, not from external validation, but from internal proof. Proof that you're capable of navigating life without a safety net. This is the shift from dependent to sovereign. And sovereignty is what separates people who get used from people who can't be touched. Now let's talk about what happens when you actually implement this. When you stop waiting. When you kill the victim, the fantasy, the dependency. When you accept that you're alone and you decide that's your advantage, not your limitation. What does that life actually look like? First, you move faster because you're not waiting for approval, for permission, for consensus. You see an opportunity, you assess it, you act. You don't need a committee. You don't need validation. You don't need someone to tell you it's okay. You decide it's okay and you move. And in a world where most people are paralyzed by indecision, waiting for perfect information or external validation, speed is a weapon. You'll take ground while others are still planning the route. Second, you fail more. And that's good, because failure is data. Failure is education. Failure is the price of action. And people who act fail more than people who wait. But they also succeed more. Because success isn't the opposite of failure. Inaction is the opposite of both. You're not trying to avoid failure. You're trying to increase your attempts. Because the more you attempt, the more you learn. The more you learn, the better your odds. The better your odds, the more you win. This is basic probability. But most people are so afraid of failure that they never put enough attempts in to hit their winning percentage. Third, you become unmanipulatable. This is the big one, because manipulation requires leverage. And the main leverage people use against you is your need for them. They manipulate you through approval, through validation, through the promise of rescue. If you just do this, I'll give you that. If you just wait a little longer, I'll come through for you. If you just prove yourself, I'll reward you. But when you don't need their approval, don't need their validation, don't need their rescue, they have nothing to manipulate you with. You become a closed system, self-contained, self-sufficient. And this terrifies people who are used to controlling others through dependency. They'll call you cold, they'll call you selfish, they'll call you arrogant. Let them. These are the words people use when they can't control you anymore. These are the labels people apply when you stop playing the game by their rules. Wear them as badges of honor, because every accusation of coldness is an admission that you've sealed a door they used to walk through. Every accusation of selfishness is an admission that you stopped prioritizing them over yourself. Every accusation of arrogance is an admission that you stopped seeking their approval. Fourth, you attract different people. The needy, the dependent, the manipulative, they leave. They have to. You're not feeding them anymore. You're not the endless well of validation they can draw from. You're not the person they can offload their problems onto while you wait for them to reciprocate. They leave, and good riddance. Because in the space they leave behind, different people appear. Self-reliant people, people who don't need you but choose you, people who match your energy instead of draining it, people who respect your boundaries because they have boundaries, people who understand that the strongest relationships are between two people who could survive alone but choose to build together. This is the paradox. When you need people, you repel the good ones and attract the parasites. When you don't need people, you repel the parasites and attract the good ones. Your needlessness becomes a filter. It sorts people automatically. The users leave, the builders stay, and you end up with a circle that's smaller but infinitely more valuable. Fifth, you build real things. Not plans, not dreams, not someday maybes. Actual tangible results. Because when you're not waiting for permission, for perfect conditions, for someone to believe in you, you just start building. And building creates momentum. Momentum creates results. Results create confidence. Confidence creates more action. It's a virtuous cycle, but it only starts when you start. And you only start when you stop waiting. If this is hitting different, if you're seeing your own patterns in this, hit that like button. Look at anyone who's actually successful. I don't mean lottery winner successful. I mean built something successful. They didn't wait. They didn't have perfect circumstances. They didn't have guarantees. They didn't have someone holding their hand. They saw what they wanted. They decided it was possible. And they started moving toward it without permission, without validation, without a safety net. And along the way, they failed. They got rejected, they got criticized, they got told it wouldn't work, and they kept going because they understood something fundamental. No one was going to build their dream for them. You want to know the difference between people who make it and people who don't. It's not talent, it's not luck, it's not connections. Those help, but they're not the determining factor. The determining factor is this: did you wait or did you start? Did you need permission, or did you give it to yourself? Did you need someone to believe in you, or did you become the believer? Because everything else flows from that decision. Machiavelli wrote, "It is better to act and repent than not to act and regret." He understood that action creates options. Inaction creates nothing. Even if you act and fail, you learn. You gain experience. You eliminate a path that doesn't work. You get data. But if you don't act at all, you get nothing. No learning, no experience, no data. Just the slow corrosion of potential into regret. And regret is heavier than failure. Regret is permanent. Failure is temporary. Choose permanent regret. Now I need to address something. Some of you are thinking, but I do need help. I can't do everything alone. Isn't asking for help a strength? And yes, asking for help is fine. Accepting help is fine. Collaboration is fine. But there's a difference between asking for help and waiting to be saved. Asking for help is, I'm working on this, and I need your expertise in this specific area. Waiting to be saved is, I can't do this without you. Please fix this for me. I'm stuck until you intervene. One is strategic delegation. The other is learned helplessness. One is, I'm building something and I'm bringing in reinforcements for specific tasks. The other is, I'm not capable and I need you to be capable for me. See the difference? Self-reliance doesn't mean isolation. It means you're the driver, you're the architect, you're the one steering the ship. Other people can be crew, but you're the captain. And if the crew leaves, if they mutiny, if they disappoint you, you keep sailing, because you were never dependent on them to keep the ship moving. You were just making use of their skills while they were available. This is the mindset shift. From "I need someone to save me" to "I'm building something and I'll leverage any help that aligns with my mission." From "I can't do this alone" to "I can do this alone, but I don't have to if there are people worth collaborating with." From "please fix this" to "I'm fixing this and your input would be valuable if you're interested." Feel the difference? One is begging, the other is inviting. One is weak, the other is powerful. And here's what happens when you operate from this place. People want to help you, not because you need them, because you're building something interesting and they want to be part of it. Not because you're begging, because you're moving and momentum is attractive. Not because you're desperate, because you're self-sufficient, and self-sufficiency is magnetic. The more you don't need people, the more they want to contribute. The more you can do alone, the more others want to join. It's counterintuitive, but it's how human psychology works. We're attracted to strength, repelled by weakness, inspired by self-reliance, drained by dependency. So stop waiting. Stop looking for the mentor who's going to discover you. Stop hoping for the opportunity that's going to change everything. Stop expecting the person who's going to save you from yourself. None of that is coming, and even if it did, it wouldn't work. Because external rescue doesn't build internal strength. Being saved doesn't make you powerful. It makes you dependent on being saved again and again and again. Until you're just a person who specializes in waiting, hoping, needing, and wondering why your life never changes. Your life changes when you change. Your circumstances shift when you shift. Your results improve when you improve. Not when someone else improves them for you. When you improve them. Through action, through discipline, through the daily choice to build instead of wait, to act instead of hope, to become instead of wish. And yes, it's hard. Yes, it's lonely sometimes. Yes, you'll doubt yourself. Yes, you'll want to quit. Yes, you'll look around and see people who seem to have it easier, who seem to have help you don't have, who seem to be getting breaks you're not getting. And you'll feel that pull to go back to waiting, back to hoping someone notices you, back to believing rescue is coming. Don't go back. That's the old you dying. Let it die. Mourn it if you need to, but don't resurrect it, because that version of you was never going to win. That version of you was always going to be at the mercy of external forces. That version of you was always going to be waiting. The new you? The you that's being born right now as you hear this? That version doesn't wait. That version acts. That version understands that being alone isn't a curse, it's a superpower. Because when you're alone, when you're self-reliant, when you need nothing from anyone, you become free. Free to take risks others can't take because they're afraid of losing approval. Free to make choices others won't make because they're waiting for permission. Free to build things others can't build because they're dependent on resources they don't control. You become the variable that can't be controlled, the person who doesn't fit into anyone else's plan because you're too busy executing your own, the force that doesn't need external power because you've cultivated internal power. And internal power is the only power that lasts, because external power depends on circumstances. Internal power is who you are, and who you are can't be taken away, can't be voted out, can't be cancelled, can't be fired, can't be abandoned, because it's not dependent on anyone else. It's just yours. If you're ready to become that person, subscribe and turn on notifications, because this channel is for people who stopped waiting and started becoming. Drop a comment telling me what you're no longer waiting for. Share this with someone who needs to hear it. This is your wake-up call. This is your moment. This is where you decide, am I going to keep living in the fantasy that someone is coming, or am I going to accept the truth that no one is coming, and that's exactly the liberation I needed. Am I going to keep waiting for perfect conditions, or am I going to start building in imperfect ones? Am I going to keep looking for external validation, or am I going to become my own validator? The world is not waiting for you to be ready. The world is moving, and you're either moving with it or you're getting left behind. There's no middle ground. There's no waiting for the right time that ends well. There's just, did you act or did you wait? And if you acted, even if you failed, even if it was messy, even if it wasn't perfect, you're ahead of everyone who waited for perfect. Because perfect never comes, and the people who wait for it die waiting. So wake up, stop waiting, stop hoping, stop looking for someone to save you. Save yourself, build yourself, become yourself. Not the self you were told to be, not the self that's safe and comfortable and approved by everyone. The self that's powerful, the self that's self-reliant, the self that needs nothing and therefore can't be controlled by anyone. That's the self that wins. That's the self that builds empires while others are still waiting for permission to start. Machiavelli understood this 500 years ago, and it's still true today. The people who wait for fortune get destroyed when fortune changes. The people who create their own fortune become immune to its fluctuations. The people who depend on others become slaves. The people who depend on themselves become kings. Which one are you going to be? No one is coming to save you, and that's the best news you've ever received, because now you know it's all you, and if it's all you, then it's all possible. You're not limited by someone else's willingness to help. You're not capped by someone else's belief in you. You're not waiting for someone else's timeline. You're limited only by your own action, and action is the one thing you completely control. So go, build, act, fail, learn, try again. Do it alone if you have to. Do it scared if you must. Do it imperfectly. Do it now. Because every day you wait is a day you're telling yourself you're not capable. Every day you hope someone else will do it is a day you're proving you won't. Every day you depend on external rescue is a day you're cementing your own powerlessness. Stop. Stop today. Stop right now. Become the person who saves themselves. And watch how everything changes.